Hello and welcome to another Ark Echo's Fandoms video with me, your host, Ark Echo. And this time I thought we'd be looking at a particular, I want to say scene, but it's more than a scene. It's the bit when Evie and Rick unwittingly unleashes the mummy from his tomb and causes chaos in Egypt. Now, again, I have done another commentary on this one before about Brendan Fraser's commentary on the Mummy Blu-ray version, which was, like I said before, I watched it and I basically got this movie on Blu-ray just for the commentary because I was really interested in what Brendan Fraser was going to say and what he was going to talk about the film, his experiences, and it was very, very disappointing, like I said before in my other commentary, that he had nothing to say at all about the movies. It was like he wasn't even a part of the movie, which sounds odd, but it's like he has no recollection of anything going on, which was a shame. But there is like two other commentaries on the Blu-ray, which is good. I've watched the other commentary when the actor Arnold Vosloo, who plays the mummy, and the actor who plays Benny, and um, and the actor who plays Ardeth Bay, and it was a lot more interesting. Let's just say it's a lot more interesting. They had a lot more to say, possibly because there was three of them at that point. The thing that surprised me is the actor who played Benny. In the movie, he's got an accent, and he got a funny accent and things, but when he's on the commentary, his voice is very, very posh. He doesn't really sound like Benny, which is I was quite taken aback by. I'm like, wow, is that really him? It's like, and he also made like a comment with this particular scene just here when the mummy takes Mr. Burns' eyes and his eyesight being so bad that the director thought, I'm going to play with this scene. He's going to have bad eyesight, and why doesn't the mummy have bad eyesight when he takes his eyes if his eyes are that bad? And the director was going to play with that, and he said like, yes, when he first sees Evie, when the mummy first sees Evie, he thinks that she's an act to the moon because of the bad eyesight. But then after that, they've sort of like said, no, we're not going to play with that anymore. We're going to not mention it again. And it was never really mentioned again about the mummy having bad eyesight. But and it was just like very, very interesting to hear that. Also, Arnold Vosloo, who plays the mummy, said, and I do quite agree a little bit, but not as much as he does. It's like when he done CGI stuff for the mummy, when he's seen the first CGI for the mummy from this particular scene, when he comes out of his sarcophagus for the first time, he was very disappointed and thought it looked really, really cartoony. And I sort of agree. Yes, it does look a bit cartoony, a little bit, not like Looney Tunes cartoony, but it was still a good effect from the 1990s. The 90s anyway. Not 1990s, but it was still a good effect back then. I mean, it holds up well today. I gotta say, it still holds up well today. Because there are some movies today that CGI is really, really bad, and again, it's not, it's just really, really bad. And this one, sort of shows it up a little bit. And this was made in the late 90s. But he did say that the next mummy that comes on, when he kills Mr. Burns and takes his skin and stuff, that it looked more realistic, and it does. It does a little bit more. And there's other bits in the film as well. It's this, stories that they were telling, but again, it sort of like drifted off a little bit when they were talking about stuff as like the director and things that's happening behind the scenes and stuff, it wasn't really that relevant. And like, oh, this bit here really gets me as well. It's like these scarabs like eat you very slowly, but on this bit they eat them pretty fast. And if they threw all these like scarabs in with Imhotep when he was like buried alive, why didn't they just eat him really, really quick? You know, it didn't really make much sense. But I love this bit when Brendan Fraser, Rick O'Connell sees the mummy, just like, whoa, you know? Yeah, screaming. I like the way he just screams back and just shoots him. That was a good bit. I like that bit. But yeah, I can tell what you said. Is he does look cartoony, but it's not as bad as the Mummy Returns with the Scorpion King. Now that really was bad. That really was bad CGI. I found the fact that the people who've done the CGI in this movie was not available to do the CGI in The Mummy Returns, and they had to go somewhere else. So I think that's why it suffered a bit. But the CGI, not all of it. A lot of it was good. It's just I think that the Scorpion King in the Mummy Returns was so much like a PlayStation 1 game, PlayStation 2 game at best. Was pretty bad. But again, the movie was great. I really loved the Mummy Returns. It's not as good as the first Mummy film, but it was still an enjoyable movie, and I do enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little podcast of mine. I will do some more, but until next time, this is Ark Echo signing out.